Hello, Faith Church. It's hard to believe it's already the middle of August. I'm just back after about 3 weeks of vacation, sitting here at uh, Garcia Bend Park, where I was just realizing was one of the very first places I did a house to house way back when we began doing this, at the beginning of COVID. And as I return from 3 weeks vacation, it's good to be back. Um, we're right back into sort of a wondering of uh, where COVID and the restrictions that make it difficult for us to be together are back in place in some ways. And I find myself just kind of wondering as I get back where sort of where my spirit is, and trying to pay attention to what God is doing in me, in us, and wondering what our response should be. Uh, I read the wrong psalm today, Psalm 48, which is a psalm of praise, begins, "Great are you, Lord, worthy of praise," where the psalmist seems to be really on an upbeat note. But then I read the correct one, Psalm 43, where the psalmist asks, why is my soul downcast? Why don't you come and vindicate me, Lord? Why? Asking a lot of questions of why his spirit isn't in the right place. But I noticed that in both of those psalms, there's a common word, a couple of common words: joy and praise. And in both situations, the psalmist is led to a place of joy and praise, which uh, is interesting to me, that's the place that you go regardless of our own situations. I was remembering a group of ragtag boys in youth group many years, another time and place ago, that after our youth group meetings, they would gather around the piano and they would sing a song, "Great Are You, Lord." And these were boys that would never sing when their other peers were around. And so when we would sing this song, which would begin, "Great are you, Lord. You are holy and just. By your power, we trust in your love." And we sing the first verse, but when we come to the chorus, they sort of developed this pattern that they would start looking around, make sure no one is in the room, look out in the parking lot, see who might be around, and then they would just at the top of their lungs, it wasn't pretty, but it was full of joy and praise, they would just belt out, "Great are you, Lord, worthy of praise. Great are you, Lord." And it was just to go out on that up note, regardless of sort of how they came into the meeting that evening. They would go out in this note of joy and praise, with smiles on their faces, doing something that even surprised themselves. And I wonder, as God's people, what are ways throughout the week that maybe we even surprise ourselves about how we are expressing joy and praise and gratitude for who God is, even in the midst of difficult situations. And that very well may be what initially and marks us as God's people and sustains us as God's people. And so I encourage you with that today. Help us to remind each other to belt out our joy and praise with our lives throughout this week. I look forward to being with you in worship this Sunday, and to being back and being a part of our community face to face. I hope all is well with you. We'll talk soon.